And we back. What's up, Marvel fans? Armand here for E equals MCU. Got a few updates we want to go over today, and just wanted to. I don't know. We got a few different updates. I was going to do one story, then I saw another one this morning, and then I decided there was a couple stories I saw last night. I think I'm gonna cover both of those, but bear with me. I'm going off the top of the brain. So word in these internet streets. I'm gonna start with the first story. Word in these internet streets, there is an article on MCU Direct written by Rubens. And word in these internet streets is that the Champions / Young Avengers project is on hold or being delayed. Now, why, you might ask? It is being delayed specifically due to Secret Wars. This project and another that was named in the article, Strange Academy, both of these projects are being delayed until after Secret Wars. Okay, so Secret Wars is scheduled to come out in December of 2027. This means that we will not get a Champions, and it will likely be a Disney Plus series. We will not get a Champion / Young Avengers series until 2028. Now, the reason for that, it does hint in the article that the members of the Champion / Young Avengers will be appearing in Secret Wars, which I think we all pretty much figured and hoped for some of them. Their story will be in Secret Wars. They probably won't play a major part. It'll probably just be like a part in it. And to be fair, I think, like what I was saying yesterday about the Russo brothers, if they are indeed taking over, they're kind of, even if they're not taking over, they've already been reported to be a major part of the next phase. I think they're going to have their hand in every single IP Marvel has going, and they're going to shepherd how they want it to go. And this is great for the fans because the continuity that we've lacked in the multiverse saga is due to the fact that there was too many cooks in the kitchen and no chef, in a sense. There was nobody, like, Feige's like, spread too thin, so there's nobody really like engineering everything. I think a lot of the creatives were able to just, ask for a certain character, and if they got that character, they could do what they wanted to do with that character. So hopefully this brings some more continuity to the whole MCU as a whole going forward into the mutant saga. And I think I think that Champion series needs to happen sooner rather than starting production maybe like late this year, maybe early next year, because they have gold in those mines and they have not mined it. Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop is something special. Iman is something special. Now, I believe Joe Locke as Billy, and we haven't seen Speed yet, but I believe just having those three, something special. I think they should include Ironheart. I think she'll be included in it. Dominique Hawthorne, something special. Like, she has a different take than the comics as a Riri Williams, but as an actress, she carried that show. And they get great actors to do their show, and it's not the actor's fault when the shows, if they don't hit, they don't land. It's generally not the actors or the actress's fault. Like, even with She-Hulk, a lot of people didn't like She-Hulk. Nobody blamed Tatiana Maslany. So they get great talent. I think doing the Champion series, and in the article it did say that it would be multiple seasons. That's the way to go. Give me 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6. Like, tell those stories. You got enough characters. Complete the team. They got most of the pieces on the board. I'm actually kind of excited for that one because we haven't really heard about any Disney Plus shows after Vision Quest. So I'm actually kind of excited about that one. Now, On to the next story. Per Jeff Snyder, he's reporting that Secret Wars will not be split into two movies. Will not be split into two movies. He's saying that at some point that may have been whispered or talked about or discussed amongst the Disney brass. But his reasoning for why that won't happen is because he thinks the fans will smell the corporate greed a mile away. And while I think he's correct, I feel here's where the hang up with that issue is. They will probably have two movies worth of footage to show. Okay, the issue becomes the contracts, because when an actor signs that contract, especially for ones who are just signing for Secret Wars, you can't just turn that into two movies without renewing everybody's contract and probably giving everybody a raise, because every time they play the character, their money goes up. Now, if you have somebody signed to multiple contracts, that's probably not, you could just roll that over. But then if you want to use them again in the future, for instance, i.e. Sadie Sink, if she only signed a 3-picture deal and she is in fact Jean Grey, and you split Secret Wars into two movies and she appears in both movies, her contract's done, which means you got to sign her to a whole new X-Men contract, which is going to be more expensive, which if she is playing Jean Grey, that would be why she only signed on for 3 movies. And maybe they can't get people to do the 9-picture deal anymore, because it's just like sports. Why would I sign a 5-year deal when I could sign a 2-year or 3-year deal, or a deal with an out in it, so that I can hit free agency and potentially get more money? You know, you don't want to be under a contract and your worth goes up while you're under that contract and you're not being paid your worth. So that's a difficult line to tightrope the walk. But Jeff Snyder, he didn't debunk. I think it was Daniel RPK or My Time to Shine Hello or Perez from the Cosmic Circus. I don't think he wasn't necessarily saying that they were wrong, but he was just saying that may have been in play before, but as of now, that is not the play. And for me personally, and I have to see Doomsday first before I know how I feel about Secret Wars being 1 or 2 movies. But if you have that many characters, and I know how many characters Marvel has to put in this movie, I almost would feel better getting it in 2 movies. Like, do what you need to do. I know you got to pay Robert Downey Jr. $1 billion. You're probably going to make 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even more if you do it in 2 movies. So, man, that's tough. I don't really know how I feel about that one yet, man. Let me know how you guys feel if you would want Secret Wars being 1 movie or 2 movies. Because you got to think about it. They're going to want to keep, they usually keep their movies around 2 hours. They're going to want to keep Secret Wars under 3 hours. And if you got to put, you just got so much to tie in. You got the old X-Men, the new X-Men, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, all the Avengers and all of their storylines and story points. You got to do this whole multiversal hopping. You got to fight. You got to establish, like, I mean, essentially by getting Doomsday and Secret Wars, you're getting 2 movies. But that's why I said I need to see Doomsday first to see how quickly can they get through all this information without making it feel rushed. And then we'll kind of know. So now the other story was, and this is also on MCU Direct. I can't remember who wrote the article, but it was in reference to Daredevil, Born Again, and Vincent D'Onofrio. They did an interview with Vincent D'Onofrio, and he was talking about how they changed course and how specifically how the recasting of Vanessa Fisk kind of worked and what was going on. And basically, if you don't know, they shot half of Daredevil. Well, then they had the writer's strike or the actor strike. It was one of the two. And then they had a chance to kind of look at the footage and they decided to pivot. Now, according to the reports, this pivot was heavily due to Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox fighting for it. Now, this is reestablished in this interview in where Vincent D'Onofrio talks about talking to the actress that plays Karen Page and them feeling bad for her that she wasn't invited back. And I think that got being like, you have to understand when it comes to these Netflix Defender shows, all of these actors, I don't want to say they're like family. I don't want to speak for them. I'm not in their circle or anything. But based on interviews and things that I have seen with like Jessica Jones, Christian Ritter talking about how her and Mike Coulter's wife are best friends. Like word, like you know what I'm saying? These people are extremely close. They're close with each other's families. You know, it's been 10 years now. They all know each other. They all worked with each other. I, and this is on Feige. Him wanting to reboot Daredevil and not invite everybody back and kind of nitpick how, like, I want to keep the actors, but I don't want to keep the supporting cast and doing all of that. I hope he learned a valuable lesson. And I think they made the right decision. And I think that even like with Mike Coulter and if they bring back Iron Fist, if they bring, why can't I think of his name right now? You guys have to forgive me. I had COVID and it just seems like every year after, it's just like my cognition is getting worse. But I think those actors really should thank or a sense of gratitude to an extent to Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, and John Bernthal, because he was also one that was originally reached out to by Marvel Studios to come back. I even reported, this is like 8 years ago, I reported it, that they wanted John Bernthal, Christian Ritter, D'Onofrio, and Charlie Cox. Those were the 4 they wanted back. Them fighting for keeping the Netflix stuff canon, and Netflix was very smart in telling their stories and not like acknowledging they're in the MCU, but not like putting them in the MCU, so it didn't make anything too contradictory like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got too close and kind of got too close to the sun and kind of got burned, and they in doing that, that's why they may want to put them out in secret, try to separate and distance themselves because they did too much. They got too close. Netflix did not do that, and that's the reason why it's easier for them to be kind of roped into the canon now. So that kind of worked in their favor. It sounds like they're bringing everybody back except for Turk. Really? Really, Feige? I mean, considering how we've heard how the old Netflix actors were treated by the old Marvel TV crew, which we don't have to get started on that. We know who the president was of Marvel TV, or Marvel Entertainment, excuse me. Yeah, you should bring back Turk. On that note, though, there is rumors that Mahoney is coming back, the actor that played Mahoney, the officer. So you got one, but until you get Turk back, But on to that though, I just would say Vincent D'Onofrio he went on to speak very highly of the actress who played Vanessa in 2013 when they originally shot, or 2023 when they originally shot Born Again, and he made it sound like, and I suspect that he made it sound like they maybe just reshot her scenes, like the character arc that they had Vanessa on the whole time was the same, and maybe they just reshot the scenes with the Netflix Vanessa. And he said that, period, point blank, like I like her in that role. She reminds me of somebody that I don't like, and I try not to hold that against her. Something about that face, I don't know, but she does it. She's killing it as the Queen Pin. I hope they explore that and keep going with that, and definitely flesh that out. So, but anyways, guys, like that's basically the news today. Like it's a couple of them. I'm gonna have to do some work here to get these together. But let me know how you feel about potential champions and Strange Academy being after Secret Wars, and how you feel about Secret Wars only being one movie and not 2 movies. And are you happy about Daredevil Born Again bringing the Netflix into the MCU and making it all canon. With that said, man, that's the news for today. I will see you guys Monday. Peace.